Good morning, traders. Today is March 24th. It's 8 a.m. and I'm Elliot, ESP. So let's take a look at the markets. Quick overview. This is the morning minute beat that you can see right behind me. And yesterday we saw the market rip up higher and then pull back, and that was based on expectations that the war might slow down. But then people realized it's going to take a while anyway, and so everything kind of just pulled back. Crypto, it's holding at 71,000, so that's pretty good. We like to see that. GameStop is going bullish into earnings, and Tesla is mixed based on EU sales. Nvidia is still kind of bullish with the AI crowd. So that looks good. We don't really have much in the headlines today. We do have GameStop after the bell. And overnight, we saw some changes in the market, and we'll take a look at that. So let's bring up the charts. And so we see behind me, right now, the indexes are mild. Let's take a look at the NASDAQ first. And we can see on the 30-minute chart, we're holding right at this level of about 24.35. You could see this is where the supply is. So right down here, this is where we would say there's a value area gap all the way down here, and then all the way up to about 24.7 is the top. I would like to see a retracement back up there, but at the moment, we're starting to pull back, and you can see this is on a trend. This is a pretty long trend of being on this downward here, but we do have support. So I think we've had support here now for quite a while, many weeks, at the 24,350 level where we are right now, 24. Yeah. So let's see if we can get back up to this 24.5. That would be good. If above there would be, bullish. And I think anywhere below this 24.3, I think we're going down. So those are my levels there. Let's take a look at some other indexes. I'm going to bring this back. And let's take a look at SPY. So SPY, again, if we look at the 1 hour chart, you could see we've been on this downtrend. We're closing in on 650. If I zoom this out a little bit further, you can see going back all the way to last year, 650 has been a good level of support. So there's like buys that are coming in here. They're coming down, they're filling this area, and then I would expect them to go back up. So, anywhere below 650, I think it's a buy on SPY long term. Long term, that is, right? Now, if we're just saying for today, let's zoom in again and see where we are, right? So let's look at where we are on the day. If we're below 653, I'm bearish. If we're above, let's say this 656 level, 657, I'm bullish. So I'm not really playing inside this range. I want to see it continue up. Now, let's talk about some methodology though, because I think it's important to understand what I see in my trading style. So I look for a trend, and my trend is going to say that it's either in a value area or there's a gap. I look for the trend in the deviation and the comparison of the two. So I'm looking for the long term is in a positive momentum, and then there may be some short term pullback. This case, this is where this pulled up gold by accident, but let's go back to the S&P. And you can see on this 4-hour chart, we come back here, we come into the bottom of this value area. This is a great area, I would say, to buy. It's less likely to fall through this gap. If it does break through, though, if it does break through, it's going to fall to the next level, right? So we were looking at SPY before, and again, if it breaks below 650, you could see how easily there's nothing to stop it from going all the way down here. So now I like the idea of buying somewhere around here and holding it and selling it at 660. So like buy around 650, sell at 660. But I need to see some upward movement, which I don't see yet completely. 15-minute chart, we had this big positive movement yesterday. It helped bring the direction back up. It might mean that this area is a bottom for support. And that's what I'm looking for. Let's take a look at some of the other indexes. We looked at the NASDAQ. Let's look at the Dow. The Dow has a very similar structure. Again, below this area here, I'd say close to where we are, and you can look for it to fall to the bottom of this value area at 46,000. Right now, we're at 46,381. We're at the bottom of this value area, but this is a very small one. I'm more concerned about value areas when I look on the hourly charts, and you can see we're towards the bottom of this, but this is more of the bottom. It's like 46,000. I'd like to see a buy at about 46,000, and then I would sell at 46.8 or maybe a little lower to start taking some profit. But I do have this first channel positive, which is good. It's good on the hourly. It's nice to see that this is positive and it's above this trend line and it's at the bottom of this value area. So that's a decent sign. Let's take a look at the Russell as well. The Russell's setting up very similarly. We have this bottom here at about 2470, and the top of the range here is about 2530. You're going to see bouncing anywhere in between there. So that's what I'd be looking for. Okay. Now, let's take a look at silver real quick. Silver has had a massive slide. And again, it's due to the war, the political issues. They're thinking that the industrial applications of silver are not going to be as high as initially thought because of an economic slowdown. So the price of silver dumped. But you can see there's a supply here at around 66. People are selling all the way up to 70. So there's a big gap here in the value area. Look at that gap between 70 and 78. It could potentially fly back up. And then once it's here, it'll run up to the back to the 90s fairly quickly. I hold silver long term, and I think it's a good investment long term. I would have preferred, if you're going to look at this, say get around 66, but you're still in this value area. So I wouldn't necessarily be buying at 70. I would like to see it break above 70. If it does, then maybe you might want to consider getting long as it goes above this level of, let's say, 74, and then you could see it go to the top of the next value area. But I'd like to see this actually turn around. I have the 1 hour is, the first channel is on the upswing, and I'd like to see these on the lower time frames. I'd like to see this turn upward before I said go ahead and buy. So let's take a look at gold, because gold was giving us some other interesting pictures as well. Same sort of deal, right? It's this downtrend. It has not broken the trend down. The channels are still pointing down. The 1 hour is still down. The first channel is a little bit up, so that's a good sign. If we zoom out to the daily, you can see we've had a very nice long run up. This is definitely profit taking. The floor is around 4,000, but when you're trading futures, that's a big swing. So right now we're at 4420. 4,300 shows up as the 50% Fibonacci. So 61 is a strong support. The 23 is another strong support and resistance, and you can see we kind of held that 23 for a while until we broke down to the 61.8. So I would look for a rebound from here off of 4,000 going back up. But right now, I don't see the trade in gold. I'm concerned that it's going to fall. I like these wicks. These wicks on the bottom show a lot of pressure pushing it up. It could potentially reverse. I am a holder of gold. Um, it's not a bad place to get in. It's just I'm not sure. You got to keep your eye on it. If it holds here at 4,300, you're fine. If it dips below 4,300, I'm out. So I think that's the game. Under 4,300, I'm out. Over 44, whatever, 44.50, maybe you're long. Yeah. All right. What else should we take a look at? Let's take a look back at our big chart, and we can take a look at the currencies. And so on the currencies, all of the currencies are basically down. They're all not in the greatest of shape. We do see that the this is the 6A, which is the Australian dollar. It does have longer term good support. The real also has good longer term support, but most of these are not doing well. I like the euro. I'm surprised that it's been doing as well as it has. Look at it stair stepping right up and down like that. So I've been saying, when you see the euro down anywhere at this like 1.4, 1.5 level, it's a buy. And then I was selling at 1.16 as my trading range. Now with the war, it's actually come back up a little bit here to this spike, and it hit 1.1687 almost. So it's interesting. You see this trend up. Any dip down here, I would buy and hold. All right, let's take a look at another watch list. And what I want to point out is I came up with this watch list last night, and it's giving me symbols that coordinate with long-term up but short-term down, and you can see silver is on that chart. So if I pull up the daily, my long-term up, my short-term down, it's met at this point, and it's found support. So this looks like it might be an interesting place. All right. Now, let's see. We have another set of charts we can look at as well. We have copper. Now, copper has been interesting. I want to bring up copper because copper has not been moving with silver or gold necessarily. Long term, long term, we see copper's going up. It's got to be at this 6.2 level soon. It has to be. Just production requirements require it. Copper wiring, copper piping, copper's used in AI, in cooling. It's in demand. There's just not enough of it. It's gonna go up. Anytime you see copper this low, I think it's a good buy. So if you see copper at 5.2, great. We're at the bottom down here, if you realize, of this value gap. This is the value gap right here, right? So if I draw that value gap, so you see it a little bit better, the value gap is right here. So anywhere in this area, it's going to go back up to the top of this value area, which is at 6. So if you're down here at under 5.5, that's a great buy for copper. So what would I buy if I was going to buy copper? I would be buying Freeport McMoRan. And last night I was looking at ERO Copper. So these are two companies you could buy this. One of the great things is with either of these, you could buy 100 shares of ERO, right? And that's $2,400. And then you would be able to trade the options on that and get like 2% on that money in a month, just on selling the options at the 0.24 um, at the 0.24 spread. So if I'm looking at ERO 24 days out, um, they don't have a 24 spread. You get about $35 on the 30, which is crazy, right? It would have to go $5 up before you'd be out of the money. You could also just do a cash grab and sell the 25 for $1.60, right? And you can pocket that money, that $1.60. Maybe it goes above 25, but you're already in the money. You've already made some money now, right? So you would make the 25 cents, which is not much, right? $2,400 plus another 25 cents, like $25, but you'd end up making basically $1.85, so $200 on this $2,400 investment, just holding it for 24 days. Not bad. That's really just not a bad way to make a couple dollars. You could do the same thing with Freeport McMoRan, and you could see if you would put out $5,500, you can get immediately $3 back. But if you went out to the 24 delta, let's say you sold the 60, you can get $1.35 back, and that's actually not too bad, right? So if we looked at Freeport McMoRan and you sold the 60, we bought it here, you sold this one in a month, you pocketed the dollar, plus you made the $5 or $6 in between. That would be brilliant. And then you could always roll the option out as well. So that's also just another way to do it. All right. Let me bring up my new scanner. This may have to go and run after 9 a.m., 9:30 a.m. when the market opens. So I'll come back and do this scan again later for you. Let me see if there's anything else that we can take a look at. Oil and gas. Wow. Oil dropped yesterday, and you can see it's making a nice recovery. It was at $99 a barrel. It dropped all the way down here to about 85, and it's come up to 91.67. This is a great area. Look at the value area that you can see right here. We're at the bottom of the value area at 92.5 all the way up to 99.57. So I'd like to see it go from here all the way up to the top. You could ride it. I think that would be beautiful. Natural gas, the same thing, under $3. It's 2.94. Buy natural gas here and you sell it anywhere above 3. Like 3.1, 3.2, but you could start taking profit above 3. I don't think it's going to go below 3. And if we look at natural gas on a bigger chart, you could see we have not gone on the daily below this 2.9. So I'm not too scared. I think we come back and recover to at least the 3s, and you can see we spiked up at the initiation of the war all the way up to 7.5. That would have been crazy money if you would have caught that. Looking at oil, you could see that oil has not pulled back the same way natural gas has. Oil is still high, and at this level, it does inhibit commercial functions. If you remember some years back when oil was over 90 a barrel, it caused a lot of inflation and things got very expensive. So what we're going to see here is if we have this continued pressure of the war and continued pressure on the price of oil, we will see that the geopolitics will cause a prolonged focus on energy. So what I would say is, the long term is that we're going to look for energy to go up, defense spending to go up, commodities and hard assets would go up. Losers would be tech, consumer discretionary, and airlines and transportation, um, if this war continues. I'm going to bring up financial juice just to see what's going on. You can see a little bit later today we have the S&P PMI manufacturing numbers coming in. That'll be at 9:45, and otherwise I think it's going to be a quiet day. We have Bank of Japan meetings, and they've been talking about possibly raising rates. This is a great site to look at. Financial Juice gets you some information pretty quick on the daily. So that's it for this morning. I will come back to give you some more details on the various levels. I don't see anything in the sectors at the moment that I want to bring up. I think across the board, we see that energy is on its upward swing, and you can see everything else is sort of on a downward trajectory. It's below that 200 line. Nothing is showing positivity there, but hopefully things have found a floor, and that's what we're looking for, to see a floor for a rebound. So good luck trading today, and thank you. I wish you a great day, and thanks for joining me. Remember to like, subscribe, and leave a comment.